And I think it's time for us to leave the microphone to Honorable Chijioke Edeoga. Amen. Amen. It is done, sir.
Thank you for the platform. Let me start with thanking our president, past president, elders of the club, distinguished members of the club, ladies and gentlemen. It's a rare pleasure and a privilege to be here, and I feel highly honored. This is my first time of entering this club. Even as I was a student of UNN from 1982 to 1986, English and Drama Theatre Arts. Those days, one of our lecturers, especially Dr. Chimadum Wanko, used to come here and hold courts. And we heard second-hand stories of his activities here. So today, for me to be here, it means that I'm arriving. And if you want to consolidate my arrival, I will plead that the club should make me a part-time member. And like Dr. Azikiwe will say, I will stay by campus, live by somewhere around the campus, firing the imagination of the nascent African youths. So, before I don't really need to go into what I will do. I will need to state my connections with the UNN and even what I have been trying to do for the UNN in an ongoing basis to establish a basis. Hello? Please. To establish the basis to expect that I was supported. I was a student of UNN, as I said, from 1982 to 1986. Even before then, I had related with UNN with some reverence and love. As a youngster, we used to come here, visit some of our relations who were students. In those good old days, when chicken was a mainstay of their meals, big chicken, big parts, and you had to eat and drop the surplus. And when we walk around the campus here, we see young, beautiful girls in white playing on tennis courts, and used to look at them with admiration and appreciation, not love but not lust. And we want to look forward to the days when we'll be in campus. And eventually, even before I came to campus, whenever I see, once in a while, another situation will go to lectures there, and will come, one of them in engineering department, once in a while, engineering will go to the annual lectures, and he came and gave his speeches, beautiful speeches, full of philosophical underpinnings. And I write them down and keep them as quotable quotes. Then eventually I came to the UNN, stayed here, had a good time, English and drama, and kept the connections to the university. I never lost my contacts, my connection with UNN. I returned here often to watch drama, plays. I was in the theatre arts department. Excuse me, my friend, please stop that. I was in theatre arts department, so I usually come here to watch plays. I usually come here to participate in watch arts presentations. Even when the ICT, the hub was coming up, I came here to give the hub a boost in the magazine I published, Edeoga News. I also, when the sixth flat began to deteriorate, I took it personally. I went to the Chancellor, the VC, who, before the current VC, I went to his house and asked him that something should be done about the zip flats, that zip flats remains a legacy of our people and it should not die. He told me of the efforts that Party told me and co we are doing to revive zip flats. I didn't stop at that. I also took pictures of the 6 flats and published them in the Edeoga LGA magazine, and made sure that those magazines were distributed free of charge to 360 members of the House of Reps and 106 members of the Senate in order to catalyze their reaction to the disrespect in UNN. I didn't stop at that. The NJF platform is a platform of soccer journalists where I belong. I insisted on that platform that the decay of the 6 flats should be made aware to the national and international audience. And I donated the sum of 350,000 naira to that project. And some published it like in big story about the decay of the hostel. And the people in the marketing department of UNN decided to punish Son for publishing that story, and decided that Son may be denied advertorial spaces, and even suspended the man who wrote the story. And I took up paying the staff of that person who wrote that story, and insisted through my friends in the Sun paper that I should be reinstated. Eventually, he was reinstated. I didn't stop at that. I also made personal efforts to reach the Senate, the House of Rep members. This is a text which I sent to Asado and Otanzi and Oke and Atigwe on Thursday, July 2019. I said, distinguished Senator Otanzi, Honorable Asado, Oke and Atigwe, I accept my heartfelt congratulations on your emergence, and as you settle down to represent our people at the highest legislative chamber, I urge you to meet specifically on 6 flats of UNN, which has fallen into disrepair. Meet in appreciation of the great things that the great city has done for the Soka people. I wrote all of them. The four of you should come, the four of you together should meet and then meet the current Vice Chancellor of UNN, and then impress on him the need to begin urgent repair of the 6 hostel. And in fact, the other hostels like Franco and Baneko and Chijioke. Of course, if there is a way must be found. Please have this meeting. Revive 6 flats, at least in appreciation of 6 sacrifices for our people. I send this text to people who are in the National Assembly, Otanzi, Atigwe, and Asado. They didn't respond. I didn't stop at that. When the president met, I met him in the country room of Shibabo. The first thing I told him was that he should do something about these flats, and he told me that the challenges were of a financial nature. I've gone to even my children, 2 of my kids, passed through UNN. One of them, economics, he stayed there for 4 years. My son, Modera. The second girl came in to do dentistry, and after her first year, I told her that I don't think she should be dentistry, that she should go to economics. And she said to me, Daddy, that's exactly what I'm thinking, that she changed to dentistry. So through my children, through 2 of them who are here, I have an intimate knowledge of what the challenges of UNN are, the challenges, the potentialities, the frustrations, and what needs to be done with regards to the hostel accreditation, with regards to meeting the full potentials of the UNN, as envisaged by Azikiwe and Ikejani. I've read the history of the making of UNN as was written by Ikejani in his biography. I know that we are nowhere near the big visions that those eminent men that sketched for UNN. We have done well. When the Nigerian challenges have in a way stymied the effort, stopped you from being what you ought to be. So if I become governor, when I become governor, I'm not going to allow myself to be stymied or frozen into inertia by the shibboleth of this is Federal University and all those things. I'm going to make sure, for instance, at the first instance, this is a promise that 6 plants must be revived with urgency. If it means that, because from the two vice chancellors, I understand that the problem is financial. When they passed the story, the fiction, that there was a problem within the Azikiwe family, I published on my Facebook page that is not true. Because I was a student here when Nnamdi Azikiwe handed over the 6 flats to UNN. It happened before me. So I know that it's financial, and maybe there are other reasons why those places have left in that state. I will not say because it's a federal university that I'm not going to intervene to make sure that that legacy is kept alive and kept going. I will also make sure that if there are other places that the state government will help the university attain its full potentials, I will actively do that in order to keep the UNN alive, in order to keep burning the ideas and the ideals that made Nnamdi Azikiwe locate this university. The university is still unable to achieve its potential, but I will contribute my lot to make sure that it becomes really a bastion that it ought to be. So, my attitude to UNN, it should give you a sample of my mental disposition to the other issues of governance. I'm not going to shirk my responsibilities, and I'm not going to be found wanting where the concerns of the common man are, where the concerns of the elite are, where the concerns of the middle people are. We're all united, we're all bound by our common threads of humanity. So outside the UNN, I'm also going to make sure that my governance, my position as governor my activities as governor will be underscored by highest ethical considerations, transparency, accountability, and a sense of purpose. I will also be courageous. I know that it is courage, for instance, that will make people, the dirty movements, remove all the obstacles, remove all the fear, and bring us to this place. I know what UNN has stood for in the history of the fight to give the Igbo people a place under the sun in Nigeria. I know that P2B is carrying on the fight of our forefathers. I know that P2B is carrying on the fight that Azikiwe has fought with brilliant dispatch. I know that P2B is in the shoes of Alex Ekweme, in the shoes of Odumegwu Ojukwu. There's a big fight, existential fight against our people, and we have to fight them in separate directions. So I'm honored to be here. I'm assuring you that I'm enamored of our history, I'm enamored of our challenges, and the history of our people, our challenges of our people, what UNN has stood for over time will be the guiding lights that will lead me even into government house and beyond. We are not going to be humiliated as a people. We are not going to play second fiddle. We are not going to be suppressed in our own land. UNN has lent its best brains to this enterprise. I'm going to seek the support and the help of the best brains from UNN, irrespective of where they come from. Whether you're Anambra State, or Imo State, or Abia, or Delta, wherever. It's immaterial to me. Because Enugu State, as I've said before, it was built by the brains, the sacrifice, the efforts of people who don't come from what you call Enugu State now. And in order for Enugu State to regain its place in eastern Nigeria, in southeast Nigeria, you must harness the manpower, the mental manpower, the enthusiasm of anybody who resides here, who works here, who has decided to make this place go. I'm a cosmopolite by education and by exposure. I have 4 university degrees from the best universities in the world. UNN is the first of them, Buckingham is one of them, University of London is one of them. I could have done all that without to come and become provincial with regards to who works with me. I would have done all that, become provincial with regards to my ambitions for Enugu State. So I'm assuring you that I'm prepared for the work of Governor of Enugu State. I'm assuring you that if you help us, as you already do now, that I won't disappoint you. I'm telling you that we need your support. We need your support because when Chimalumapo used to come to the club, in the classrooms, we heard that he was here. So the same way you are influencers, when you go home, when you go to the classrooms, tell them about Labour Party, tell your students, tell your family members about Labour Party, about the great young men and women who have found records in Labour Party as a staging post for the fight for a new Nigeria. You also go further than that by helping us. UNN is insisting that the people who are going to work for UNN in this situation are mainly university lecturers, mainly university staff. I beg you to lend yourself to this exercise. Download the UNN portal, fill up the forms, so that you can become UNN staff in one form or the other. When you become UNN staff, you will become the collaborators in our big fight to redeem Enugu State. Collaborators in our big fight to redeem Nigeria. Because the ways and the guys or the people in power are enormous. They have enormous resources, they have enormous guile, they have enormous debauchery. And it's only when you are concerned that we can begin to disarm them or displace them or dislocate them from their nefarious tendencies. Their ways have kept us down for 24 years. Before us, the rabbis. It's only the concerted efforts of intellectuals like you, enlightened men like you, who feel a sense of outrage about our condition now that will liberate us from our present existential danger. And there is no other place where Israel can start in Igbo land except UNN. UNN, the home of Nnamdi Azikiwe, the home of the Union of Ikeja, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Pius Okibo, and the other great men and women of our generation who have pushed this place forward. I thank you. I am sorry that I came late. I came late because today was the last day of my campaign. What's campaign within local government? I promised when I assumed the governorship ticket of the Labour Party that I was going to campaign in all the wards in Enugu State. If you are going to campaign in all the wards in Enugu State, it means that your programs must clash. Your programs must clash. There's no way your programs must not clash. Your program clashes with my program, and I'm an hour late. I hope you understand and forgive me. It's part of the sacrifice we have to make in order to disqualify or remove from power an incumbent government that has disgraced us and some put us asunder. To remove an incumbent government is not easy. It's not easy at all. It's not a dream matter. It's not an easy matter. I draw my lessons from what JFK Kennedy did when he was fighting the incumbent vice president and the incumbent government in America. The upper echelons of power was cut off from him, and he had to, in spite of the enormous family wealth, he decided to take his battle to the grassroots, take his matter to the grassroots, one after the other. He went to all the precincts of America. That's what I'm doing. I'm replicating it because I read the story of that book, The Making of the President, Theodore White, which has become a classic both of American writing and American politics. So I'm also a master of the game of politics, and I know what I'm doing. And by the grace of God,